In this section, we are going to talk about using theory to develop relationships. Now, what I actually did was that I gave my students an assignment and they were asked to explain the relationship between two variables of their choice based on the theory without taking support from empirical evidence available in the literature. Now, four assignments are reviewed and critical mistakes evaluated when scholars try to explain the relationship between variables using a theory. So, the objective of this session is to evaluate what common mistakes do early career researchers make when using a theory to evaluate relationship between variables. Now, before that, we will slightly discuss what a theory is. Now, what is a theory? The Oxford Dictionary defines theory as a supposition or a system of ideas intended to explain something, especially one based on general principle independent of the thing to be explained. Such definition highlights two aspects which are important when differentiating what a theory or a theoretical contribution could be. Now, in business research, a theory is used to explain how different variables are or could be related with each other. Now, majority of the papers have recently, according to my knowledge and according to some researchers and scholars their opinion, majority of the papers are rejected because they do not have a substantial theoretical contribution and they fail to use theory to explain how different variables are related with each other. Now, first, theories have the potential to explain a phenomena. This puts theoretical framework squarely ahead of mere descriptive or survey work, which just states phenomena as they are. Now, this is particularly important. Theory will tell you how and why different variables are related with each other, whereas your empirical work will just tell you what the results are or whether or not two variables are related with each other or not. In particular, in working with empirical studies, we often see fascinating data that describe certain phenomena, but that lack a clear explanation as to why they occur. Why is corporate social responsibility related with organizational performance? Mere collection of data from an organization that results in identification of positive relationship between the two phenomena or two variables will not identify why there is an impact of corporate social responsibility on organizational performance. In order to assess, in order to find out whether or not there is a significant relationship, you need empirical data. But in order to find out why this relationship was significant, you need resource-based view. Because that view or that theory will help you explain why the two variables are related with each other. On one end of the spectrum, there is empirical work which or where such an explanation may emerge from empirical analysis of the data and where the establishment of causal relationship is an outcome of the analytical engagement with that data. So on one end, you've got your empirical work where you establish a relationship between the data based on, relationship between variables based on the data. On the other hand of the spectrum, in particular, if we consider conceptual contribution, the explanatory element is based on plausibility, which in many ways is much more open to contestation and debate. Why two variables are related? This could be further debated. You may say that this is the reason that the two variables are related, or another theorist or another researcher or another scholar might totally be against your opinion and he or she might have their own opinion. Okay, second, ideally then when whatever explanations are provided in a piece of research, good theorizing would aim at explanations that are in some way generalizable. Now, if you are using a theory to explain the relationship between two variables, now that theory should be good at explaining the same phenomena maybe in another sector. So the explanation or the theory should be generalizable. It might not be the case that it is true in one situation and it is totally unapplicable in another situation. So your explanation of why a socially responsible organization has improved performance using resource-based view. If it's true in pharmaceutical sector, it should hold true in fast-moving consumer goods related research as well. Now, in other words, the more an explanation has the potential to not just explain a single incident, an isolated case, or some context specific phenomena, but rather has some potential to serve as a general way of producing insight into wider class of phenomena, the more it would be considered theoretically robust. For example, recently a research conducted finds that servant leadership will have a significant impact on life satisfaction of employees working in corporate sector. Now, they evaluated this relationship based on leader-member exchange theory. Now, using the same theory, in order to explain this relationship in higher education sector, this should hold true. Now, in this case, LMX theory should not be context specific. It is, if it has to be theoretically robust, it should be applicable in higher education sector as well. Obviously, to see whether it is true or not, you need empirical data. In its extreme, this would amount to often rehearsed demand for theories to have some predictive potential. Obviously, you use theories to predict the relationship between variables. For instance, resource-based view would help you predict that any organization that has got resources will have improved performance. Leader member exchange theory would help you predict that any organization that has good, strong leadership would lead to strong relationship between the leaders and the followers. To provide explanation that have wider explanatory value than just the specific empirical or conceptual context in which they are developed. So obviously, you can take one theory from one context and apply it into another context. Now, in this video, we analyze some assignments that were done by my students. They were asked to identify a theory and explain the relationship between two variables based on the theory without taking support from empirical evidence available in the literature. Now, this is the reason that we obviously ask them not to use empirical evidence is to help them understand how a theory can be used to develop relationship between variables. Thank you very much. I hope you understand how a theory is used to develop relationships. Now we go to our assignments. The student has taken the title, or the variables are corporate sustainability and corporate financial performance. And the corporate sustainability is divided, or actually is measured, through social sustainability, environmental sustainability, and economic sustainability. So these are the three sub dimensions of corporate sustainability, whereas financial performance is measured through return on assets, return on equity, earning per share, and a return on investment. Now, the theoretical background that is available in the literature pertinent to these variables is Jha and Rangarajan. Corporate financial performance measured through ROA. Their independent variable was corporate sustainability, and they used stakeholder theory to explain the relationship between these variables. Okay, and same is the case with Gupta and Gupta 2020. Moving on. Okay, more or less everyone has used stakeholder theory, and they have used instrumental stakeholder theory. So the stakeholder theory can be further divided into instrumental and non-instrumentalism. So more or less everyone has used the same theory to, okay, there is normative theory that has been used as well. So more or less a stakeholder theory is used to establish the relationship between corporate sustainability and corporate social performance. Now let's see how this theory can be used to establish the relationship between the two variables. Now, the theoretical link between these two variables is stakeholder theory, or can be explained through stakeholder theory, which is the most influential theory that best describes the relationship between CS and CFP. Okay, stakeholder theory has from that point moved into various orders. Donaldson and Preston 1995 suggested that stakeholder theory can be arranged into three dimensions. Okay, very good. Now this is how obviously you can describe a stakeholder theory. Now, so whenever you are explaining the relationship between two variables using a particular theory, the first thing that you should do is you should write that, okay, the relationship between the two variables can be explained through this theory. and then you should explain or write a brief note as to what the theory is, and this is what the student has done. Okay, in which the focus between corporate sustainability and financial performance instrumental stakeholder theory described. Okay, comma would have been better. Instrumental stakeholder theory described that coordinated to exploring the results, for example, the profit wealth maximization of stakeholders in order to attain corporate strategic goal. As per instrumental stakeholder theory, if an organization deals with its association with stakeholders appropriately, the firm can improve its financial performance. Sustainability can thus be encouraged by self-interest. Okay, again, what's missing is how and why. Why do you think that efficient and effective management of stakeholders will help organization improve its financial performance? Why do you think that stakeholder theory can help you explain the impact of corporate sustainability, which is actually based on or is actually based on corporate sustainability, environmental sustainability, and economic sustainability? How do you think that stakeholder theory can help explain the impact of these variables on financial performance? This is again missing in this assignment. So whenever you are using a theory to explain the relationship, it has to have this aspect of how and why. Although you have mentioned that, okay, yes, this theory can help you explain, but still you feel you miss out on this point of why. So what you can do is how stakeholder theory can be linked to corporate sustainability. How is stakeholder theory linked to social sustainability, environmental sustainability, economic sustainability? Obviously, all these things are either carried out or impact the stakeholders. Now, their impact or the impact on the stakeholders will obviously in turn influence the financial performance. So when you study stakeholder theory, you will get to know that stakeholder theory talks about the stakeholders, maybe direct, indirect, primary, secondary, or other types of stakeholders. Now, how those stakeholders within an organization influence the corporate social sustainability, and that actually leads to corporate performance or corporate financial performance. How? When you answer these questions, you will be in the right position to answer the main or primary question of using the theory to elaborate the relationship between the variables. So this is how obviously you can, very good that you have given the references. Okay, these references should be in APA style, and in all references you should mention the volume and issue. Now here there is no volume, issue, there is no page number, so kindly next time whenever you're submitting the assignment, the references should be there and properly managed in APA format. So this is one thing. In general, corporate sustainability can be measured as a methodology which includes three aspects. Okay, good enough. This has been explained earlier as well. The idea is repeating, so you need to put all your ideas together at once. So when you are defining corporate social responsibility or sustainability, this should have been done before explaining the relationship between the variables. Okay, in stakeholder theory, fulfilling the requirements of stakeholder. Okay, good. Yes, this is an argument. Again, my question is why and how? You need to elaborate. You can't be just descriptive about the relationship between variables. Stakeholder theory expressed that the achievement and endurance an organization depends vigorously on its capacity to adjust different interests of these stakeholders. Now, this is a very good argument that can be utilized to explain the relationship, because the organization has to take care of the interest of the stakeholders, and it is in the interest of the stakeholders that the organization is socially or economically or financially sustainable. So you can use this argument to obviously explain the relationship. Okay, now we are going to look into the relationship between managerial coaching. So managerial coaching has been taken as a job resource and employees work engagement. So the impact of managerial coaching on employees' work engagement explained using job demand and resources model or theory. So let's see if the scholar has used the theory appropriately to explain the relationship between these variables. Now, Becker and Demirotti 2014-2017 presented JDR model or theory, which is an extended version of the job demands and resources model. Okay, presented in 2001 and 2007. Now, according to job demand and resources theory, the presence of job resources results in positive work-related outcomes such as organizational commitment, employee safety, extra role behaviors, job satisfaction, and employee engagement. Very good. So you have obviously directly linked how job resources impact the work outcomes. But before this, I would have liked a slight or a rather brief description of the theory. Before that, you might have done it afterwards, but you should have done it before JDR. ठीक है जी? Okay. Now, as a matter of fact, job resources have motivational quality that acts as a stimulus which makes employee feel energetic and engaged, thereby leading to positive outcomes. Again, a very good argument. But where is your support? So whenever you are using a theory or whenever you are using an argument to explain the impact or relationship between variable, it has to be supported. Now you do not need just like you can have other support other than empirical support for it, maybe an assertion or by any other author, maybe an assertion by the same authors who have presented this theory. So where is your theoretical support in there? Precisely in terms of reference. So work engagement is one among the other positive work related outcomes of job resources. Very good. Again, your reference. Who says that it is a work related outcome? Work related or work engagement refers to the degree to which an individual feels absorbed and attentive while performing his or her work in organization. Good enough. According to Khan, 1990 employees who are engaged, okay, this is what they do. On the other hand, numerous job resources which may be available to employees at work to stay engaged, managerial coaching may be one of the key resources. Very good argument. I really like the way you have explained the relationship or and used the theory to explain the relationship. Precise, concrete, comprehensive. But what you miss on is your references. They should have been there. So a very good argument, well built, but what you miss on is your reference. Who said these things? Where is your theoretical or support for these arguments? So you should have mentioned the support or referred particular authors who have said these things. So whenever you are presenting an argument, you should support your argument from the literature. This is particularly. The scholar looks into the impact of sustainable leadership on organizational learning outcomes, and he proposes to use a knowledge-based view. So organizational learning outcomes I see are the mediator, sustainable leadership is independent, and green innovation is the dependent variable. Okay, so the scholar has proposed to use resource-based view, or rather knowledge-based view, to explain the relationship between variables. Now let's see if the scholar has managed to do it in the right form or right way. So the first thing, the scholar starts with drawing from the resource-based view, knowledge-based view theory, or knowledge-based view. You either mention theory or you either mention view. So you can, it's better just call it RBV and KBV because those are the right names that have been used in the literature. Knowledge-based view stated that primary motive of firm's existence is being the source of knowledge creation, integration and utilization in order to achieve firm's sustainable competitive advantage. Okay, good. So this is what knowledge-based view is. Moreover, with respect to knowledge-based view, Grant stated that at the heart of this theory is is the idea that the primary role of the firm and the essence of organizational capability is the integration of knowledge. Okay, so knowledge based view actually suggests that uh, that the essence of organizational capability lies in knowledge, and accordingly knowledge based view, knowledge is the main distinctively strategic resource. If managed properly, allows the firm to create value for its exploitation and production. Okay, very good argument. So this is what knowledge does for the organization. However, Grant believed that manager could play basic role in knowledge integration. Okay, now this highlights the role of manager. Now, obviously, what the student is doing now is it's taking the argument forward. Just highlighting the role of knowledge is not enough. Now he or she links knowledge with the role of manager, who is primarily maybe the leader of the organization. And then the scholar might use this argument to build onto how a leader or the manager can influence knowledge management processes within the organization. In doing so, leader has been recognized as firm's human capital resource. Among other leadership styles, the sustainable leader and emerging field become obligatory to regulate knowledge-oriented environment in the firms. Very good argument with reference. This is what I was talking about earlier. Having references whenever you are proposing or asserting something. The sustainable leadership practices such as promote, innovate, novelty, creativity, ideas among subordinates, or promoting novelty and creativity among subordinates, focused on learning orientation and continuous improvement strategy, which creates such an environment where subordinates work, feel comfortable, and experience novel ideas. Okay, now this is how leadership influences the outcomes within the followers. Doing that will foster organizational learning and among subordinates and enable them to exhibit learning based outcomes. Okay, now what he has done is, the scholar has done is, first he has elaborated or proposed or identified the literature on how leadership can influence certain outcomes, and based on those literary evidence or literature support, he has proposed his own idea. This is very much possible, and this is very much something that can be done. So if you've got your own idea that you want to propose, you have to either first support it from the literature or do it afterwards. So once you support or present your assertion, you have to support that assertion with the literature. Okay, sustainable leadership enables organization to learn better. Okay, the scholar has related change leadership with in-role prescribed behavior. Now, the theoretical framework or the relationship between the change leadership and in-role prescribed behavior of employees in workplace were taken to find out their relationship by using change leadership theory. So the scholar used change leadership theory to explain the relationship between these two variables. Now, what the scholar has first done is that he has or she has, according to change leadership theory, the change leadership is the ability to influence and enthuse others through personal advocacy, vision, and drive to access resources to build a solid platform for change. So change leadership is actually influencing and encouraging followers to change or make a change within the organization and within themselves as well. For this purpose, the change leadership theory model was adopted, proposed by Nilakant and Ramanarayan in 2006. According to this theoretical model, there are four significant elements and responsibilities of leadership, including appreciating change, mobilizing support, executing change, and capacity building change. On the basis of these four elements, the theoretical model claimed that appreciating change contains understanding change and other forces of stability in an organization. This task creates awareness on the need for the change, explains the values of the change, and utilizes the existing opportunities for change. To be able to perform this task, they propose that leaders should be intellectual tuners, mobilizing for change, collecting relevant information, and seeking support from others on the proposed change ideas. Very good, but the problem still is the same as earlier mentioned. Where is your literature support references? Now, moving on, the leaders have to perform this kind of task. They must be people catalyzers. Very good. Yes, the right kind of argument. Again, where is your reference? The leaders, this leadership roles involves the ability to motivate subordinates towards accepting change ideas, seeking their ideas on the change idea, and carrying them. Okay, so leader actually catalyzes or makes people change. So what you have taken is your dependent variable is in role prescribed behavior or in role behavior, replicated the specific work outcomes and delivers, including their level of quality and quantity. However, the independent change leadership provides a platform to motivate and support the employees to propose new change ideas. Very good. Moreover, due to its dynamic nature of leadership style, they play a role of catalyst for employees in moving their in-role prescribed behavior. Now, you should have defined the in-role prescribed behavior as well. Obviously, your arguments make sense, but they would have made more sense if you would have defined the in-role prescribed behavior, and furthermore, you could have explained in a more better manner how leadership influences a change in followers behavior or their in-role behavior. So this is what was found missing in your explanation of theory. Thank you very much.